Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hi, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I am your host, Temple Custer Montanez from the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And I am spending my morning in the company of artistic greatness at 150 West Main Street, otherwise known as Art and Clay on Main. And the reason that I'm here today is because there's something really exciting happening downtown. Now, I know there's a lot of exciting things happening downtown, but this is a first. And we're really excited to share with you that this summer, for the first time ever, there will be a collaboration between the art studios downtown, Art and Clay on Main, the Ohio Glass Museum, and the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio. So representing each of those organizations, they're all here with me this morning, and this is Mitzi Clark-Neiswanger, who is the general manager of Art and Clay. Good morning, Mitzi.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. This is exciting stuff. And this is Teresa Sharp.
Hi there.
And I've been commenting all morning on Teresa's necklace. I'm assuming that is a product of the Ohio Glass Museum?
Yeah, this is one of my original pieces that I made. And
Something unique on lava lamp earrings or
I have fun.
How have we not met, Teresa?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Well, that's beautiful. So I love it. I love it. And if that's not reason enough to visit the Glass Museum, I don't know what is. And then this is a familiar face, I'm sure. Tricia Clifford-Sprouse from the Decorative Arts Center. Hello.
Hello, Temple. It's great to be here.
Well, thank you so much. It's always fun to talk to Tricia because she has her hands in just about all the really cool art activities that go on around Fairfield County in general.
Yes. If it's something art-related, I'm probably going to be around somewhere.
Well, we're glad that you are. And so, on that note, that's a good segue, by the way. So this summer, these women, along with their organizations, will be hosting a series of collaborative art camps for youth. And Mitzi, tell me a little bit, what ages are you targeting, and how did this all come to be?
So this particular series of camps is targeting ages 9 through 14. And the reason we came upon that age group is we're going to be working with things like X-Acto knives, and we're going to be doing glass blowing, so very high temperatures. And it's going to require some motor skills that need to have been developed, so the younger kids haven't quite gotten to that stage yet. And also a certain level of maturity, so being able to hold focus and they're just more mature projects that we find that age group becomes very engaged with. So that's what we started with.
Okay, and you've got 3 different themes this summer, right?
Yes. So the whole series is a collaboration of the 3 studios. The June camp is called Marbles and Museums. And as many people around town know, the Ohio Glass Museum does a lot with the game of marbling, and they do it every summer. And so we're kicking off with that, and that theme is going to run through in every location for the camp, starting with the projects that we're going to do. You want me to show you some samples?
Yes, love samples.
So everybody's going to be doing something along that theme, but we're going to be doing things with marbleizing paint using shaving cream as sort of the vehicle to get the glaze onto ceramics. And this is just one little project we're going to be doing. And the kids will pick out the colors and they'll pick out their patterns, and it's just a really fun, different way to paint pottery. And
you're picking up on the whole marbling technique. So when you are going to be focusing on actual marbles, and you're focusing on a marbling technique. Now, what is Deco? How do you?
So we're going to be marbling paper. We're going to be creating the invitations for the marble tournament that's going to happen the last day of camp. So we're going to be working around those elements at the studio up at Deco.
Oh, fantastic. And so
you can see the theme that runs through is that we're all kind of piggybacking off of each other and supporting each other's summer ventures also.
Okay, now what else do you have here?
So this is another piece that one of our multimedia artists on staff has put together, and it's marbleizing acrylic paints on canvas. And then because she is somebody who's very eclectic and likes to use different materials in just about everything she does. She has added in some wire weaving, and she's got some feathers and beads in here that she's added, and she's going to do a whole segment of teaching some Native American art history. And we like to give the kids when we're doing classes and we're doing camps, we like to give them sort of a real world connection, so that helps them. It engages them. It helps them. Oh, I know what you're talking about, and then it gives them something that helps them retain it throughout.
It makes it relatable. And this is neat. Now, I kind of remember doing this technique in Sunday school many years ago. I think my dad still has one of these on his desk that I made out of an old bottle.
Yeah, so this one here is, again, now this is for our second camp, Fundamentals of Inspiration. And this is another one that our Jess did. It is, again, it's multimedia. And she's taken, and it's sort of a take on, what do I want to say?
It's got multimedia. It's got the buttons and the natural elements and the...
What is the name of the process that you use with... Oh, it's like they use some drywall and some paint, and why can't I think of it? Anyway, yes, but I can't think of what's the process called. Anyway, so she's taken masking tape and she's done a wash with paint over it, and then she's added found objects, and that's going to be a whole nother, just a discovery adventure of things that we're going to find to work into our art. And then she's used paper and lace and buttons and things like that, and the kids will. We want them. We don't want it to be such a teaching so much as it is an exploration, and so we provide samples and we provide all the materials, and then they go from there as far as what they want to do with it. Like, we don't want them to go home with this exact image.
Sure. Well, and what I'm seeing here is like there's different elevations of art technique. So, Teresa, has the art museum done camps before?
No, we have not, and we're super excited to get this started with the other museums in town.
Excellent. So just to reiterate, make sure I've got this correctly. So this is like a progressive art camp. So students will start their day in one location for an allotted amount of time and then move on to the next location. So for example, if you start down at Art and Clay, then after a certain amount of time you'll move up to next door to the Glass Museum and then on up the street to the Decorative Arts Center. So I think what's really interesting about this is the collaboration between all of the entities, and giving kids and their parents even the opportunity to explore a little bit more of what each of you have to offer, as well as explore the artistic expertise that you all bring to the table. Now, I know Decorative Arts Center has been doing camps for quite a while.
Doing them ever since we opened in 2000.
And you guys have a great space for it.
We have a phenomenal space. The Wendell Center for Art Education, we call it the studio, the DECO studio, and it is just a great space. We've got three classrooms, 2 floors, plus the outside courtyard. We don't have the traffic like what we have, lower down the hill.
That can be a good and a bad thing.
Can be a good and a bad thing, but for kids running around in the summer, it's usually a good thing. And this is something we've been doing camps for all the time that we've been open. And the one thing that I've heard parents ask for is an all-day camp. We want all day. And we have never had the staff that we really can provide an all-day camp. And so this is going to give the families an opportunity to have that all-day experience without one organization being, the soul or
None of us want to stretch ourselves too thin, right? So,
right. Well, and that makes sense because you
provide quality.
You're sharing ideas and you're sharing resources and making something that maybe previously was unattainable attainable. So, now tell me how. Okay, so kids, flames, glass. Allay my fears a little bit, Teresa.
The nice thing is we're not actually going to be doing glass blowing. What we're going to be doing is flame working.
Does that mean you're doing like lamp work beads?
Yeah, exactly.
I love those. And then we can hang them around our necks.
It's not as elaborate as this, but getting them understanding, heat and gravity and being creative with all the brilliant colors of glass that we have to use. And we always have classes running, but oftentimes we don't have long duration classes like we're going to do for the camps. So the kids are really going to be able to kind of excel as they work through the week and really kind of discover a whole new process of art that they've never tried.
Well, and I would think it would be exciting, too, for you to be able to, a lot of us grew up in Glass City, but you're dealing with now with a younger generation of kids that, it hasn't really been Glass City since they've been here. So you're even able to introduce to them a little bit of the history of the area.
Exactly. And especially because it's located in the Glass Museum itself, that's a perfect opportunity to kind of walk around a little bit and kind of tell the kids, this is how glass started with the Egyptians and how, it moved into, this area and why it was here and what you can do with it as a contemporary glass artist like myself.
That's exciting. Okay, so the first camp, June 19th through the 22nd, is Marbles and Museums. We've got a pretty good idea what that entails. The next camp is July 10th through the 13th. And incidentally, these camps run from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. Is there snacks or food involved?
We're going to have lunch from 12 to 1. And the way it's going to work is we're going to have 5 kids at each location at all time. And they're going to switch after, I think we decided, an hour and 45 minutes. They're going to move around. And then after they've moved around, I think twice, we go to lunch. And we're going to, hopefully, weather permitting, have lunch up at the fountain. And it just gives the kids an opportunity to kind of talk about their days and get to know each other better and share ideas. And that's going to be especially helpful in August with the movie camp because they're going to be collaborating on every single project. And
spoiler alert, there's a movie camp.
Yeah. And so we really want the kids to, a big focus of these camps are to help them gain an appreciation of our beautiful downtown and all the things that we have to offer. So having them, for an hour every day, hang out in the middle of downtown and see what, all there is. And we'll be able to talk about the architecture and the different sculptures and things like that. And kids just need to get outside and just enjoy.
Mine do.
An hour to decompress. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So July 10th through the 13th is Fundamentals of Inspiration. Tell me what does that entail?
Well, our exhibition is 3 visions. It's 3 visions, conversations of life and conflict. And it's 3 Ohio artists that are working today, 3 female artists. And it's really about their medium and how they use that medium to express themselves. So we really wanted to have a fundamentals camp, but to really focus on the process of making art rather than the product itself. Because there's so much about being an artist that it's just exploring and creating and making mistakes and being okay.
And expressing.
And just finding your voice, finding that way that you can really talk about who you are as an artist.
Well, that's nice because part of the camp for the children at DACO they'll get to see it in fruition.
They'll see the exhibition and then they'll go in the studio and they'll make things. And all of the children will, rotate and talk to different teaching artists and how they express themselves. And that whole process of being around artists is so important when you're developing yourself as an artist.
Yeah, and I think it definitely lends itself to an era of it's okay to be creative, it's okay to be who you are. So how does the Glass Museum fit into Fundamentals of Inspiration?
This is where we're going to be actually doing the glass bead making and doing different patterns and shapes and then thinking about inspirations, whether it be nature or maybe like their comic book hero or something like that, to kind of bring in color and style, and then finally have at the end of the exhibition or end of the week a little exhibition where we will display what they've made and so kind of. Yeah, exactly. I think it'll be
opening, it'll be great.
That's awesome. So Fundamentals of Inspiration is truly about the thought process behind creating art and how you get to your ideas and how you bring them to fruition.
And introducing them along the way to the fundamentals of art and so many different mediums.
And then in August 7th to the 11th, and I see you're getting this right in under the wire before kiddos head back to school, is movie making. And I know the Glass Museum, you're not involved in the movie making, okay? But we're going to make a movie, and so next year you can be involved in the 3rd camp. Okay, great. But movie making, how exciting is that? And I got to tell you why I think this is exciting, because my kid is making videos and watching YouTube and she does things with her phone that I thought you just made phone calls. She's taking videos and editing videos. So I know this is a huge rage right now with kids in this age group. So tell me a little bit about how you got to movie making.
Okay, so Trish came up with the inspiration for this because they have done movie making camps in the past. And so she has collaborated with a local artist who is going to come back this year and work with our artist and with Trish and Daco. And the kids are going to be doing everything from, Trish, you want to jump in here? They're going to be doing
It's script writing, it's storyboards, it's creating costumes, props, everything that goes into the production part, and then editing the movie, filming the movie, editing the movie, and just that whole process. And then of course, showing the movie. And one exciting thing is that I've spoke with David Scheffler with DDL, and that Saturday in August we're going to actually show the movie at the Saturday Cinema. So it'll be on the big screen. It'll be like the prelude to the movie that they show that evening. So it'll be a great thing for the children to see their product.
Well, and I also think there's a whole PR aspect of that too, is to be able to show the people that are there for the Saturday movie all the cool collaboration that's taking place downtown.
Available within each and every one of our studios.
Right. And speaking of each and every studio, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to travel up the street and take a look in your spaces and see what's going on. So if you haven't had the pleasure of being in the Ohio Glass Museum or the Decorative Arts Center, now's your chance.
My name's John Hamilton. I'm 21, and I live in Lancaster. I look at the dog shelter. Well, in the morning, we had a meeting, and then they tell you what to do. I open all windows up. I get the boards disinfected. I give dogs water. I pick up trash outside sometimes in the parking lot. Basically, I pour the water bowls out, and I fill up the water bowl, fill it up, then I put it back in there sometimes. Do that, get dogs water. All the co-workers are nice back here. They're all nice. Well, people need to give dogs a chance, because you give dogs a chance, the dog will be your best friend. And dogs won't be so mean if you don't go hitting on them, but if you be nice to a dog, they'll be nice back to you. Got a black and white dog, puppy here, and I bonded with it, and it got adopted out, so I miss that dog. It's a cool dog. My dad, he shows me how to do stuff. It's like I'm outside mowing the grass. I didn't know how to mow the grass, so my dad showed me how to mow the grass. It feels good to help my dad pay the bills in the house. So it feels good to have a job to help my dad with the bills. You can get a job, just do a good job. When your boss tells you to do something, you just go out and do it and prove to your boss you can do it. I like to work here for a long time.
And welcome back to Fairfield Today. I am Temple Custer Montanez with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. We've been talking about a summer camp series taking place in downtown Lancaster. It's called 3 Visions, 3 Camps, 1 Summer. And basically what's happening this summer is very exciting. It's a collaboration of the art studios downtown at Art and Clay on Main at 150 West Main Street, the Ohio Glass Museum right up the street, and a little further up the street, the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio. We are letting you have a sneak peek into the studios this morning of the artists, and we are in the Ohio Glass Museum studio, which I can't believe I haven't been here before because this place is so cool. And we're going to see a little demonstration of some basic lamp work beading, or bead making, if you will, that will be taking place this summer you're doing this during the Fundamentals of Inspiration. With me is Teresa Sharp. She is the glass artist here that will be working with the students this summer. And during the July 10th through the 13th camp, Fundamentals of Inspiration, they'll be in here getting their bead work on. This is exciting.
I know. I'm super excited. The students are going to be able to make a kind of a range, because everybody's obviously going to be a beginner. So you got to understand how to make a basic kind of shape first, and then we'll move on to doing different types of different shapes square beads, flat beads, barrel beads, and then adding on fun decoration, polka dots, stripes, maybe changing his shape, being a little more sculptural. The kids will be able to kind of really express themselves in color and shape, and really make something that's very unique to their vision and to their voice.
All right, are you going to show us how this is done? Okay, let's give it a whirl. I'm going to step away from the flame.
First we work on is propane and oxygen, and we need that in order to produce a flame that's hot enough to melt the glass. This is normal flame, no big deal, but it is not hot enough in order to melt our glass.
Is that because there's no blue in the flame?
Exactly. So adding in oxygen, ta-da, changes the shape or changes the temperature quite a bit. And so what that does is it beefs that temperature up to 2,100 degrees. So in that 2,100 degrees, you can see all these beautiful rods of colored glass that we have. You start out with whatever color you'd like as your base bead, and you bring it into this flame and start gently warming this up. And it takes a little bit of time to kind of just relax into it and just gently warm this end of this glass up. But what eventually you'll start to see is a little bit of a glow. Sometimes the glass turns dark, but then it starts to glow a little bit, and then it starts to become molten. So we're watching for that. There it goes. So once it becomes molten, then we know we're able to start to shape this into a bead. So over here we have what are called mandrels, and these are little stainless steel rods, and I'm going to start to preheat that at the same time. So a lot of two-hand coordination going on. And what I'll do is just preheat this a bit more. And I'm going to take this green glass, which looks like it's orange glass right now, but it's not. It looks orange just because it's super duper hot. It will be back into this green color when it cools down. So I'll just touch on to the mandrel and roll the mandrel. And that's how we get a bead started. So, this makes it just a little tiny bead, but the beads can add more glass to them to make them a little bit larger, or to make them a little bit more sculptural, and definitely to add more color and texture to the surface as well.
That is exciting. And so the students in the camp will actually be able to use these exact tools, which parents, by the way, is something to consider when you're considering whether to sign your child up. That, the reason that we have the ages, or not we, but they have the ages that they do set for these camps is because it will require a little bit of skill and a little bit of advanced technique.
Yeah, I agree. I used to teach a summer camp for kids in New Orleans, and this was the perfect age for them to kind of understand about heat and gravity and composition of art as well.
And I got to say, I would rather work in a glass studio in Ohio than in New Orleans. That sounds a little warm.
It was a little muggy, absolutely. This is definitely better temperatures now. So yeah, you can use little paddles to roll the glass on to change the shape. If you wanted to add maybe a different color on the top, maybe put some white polka dots on there. Again, using that two-handed coordination. And we start out very simple and basic to kind of get everybody into the rhythm of it. And they really pick it up fairly quickly. So, for example, to put on some polka dots, just touch on, lift up, touch on, lift up.
Now, if there is a student who maybe is a little apprehensive about doing this, or maybe they have great coordination but maybe not quite as great as you, will you be available to help them through the process?
Absolutely. We're only going to have 5 students at a time to make the beads. I will be here. I'm a professional glass artist, and I'm also going to have an assistant with me as well, who's also going to be a professional glass artist. And we will we'll have lots of different help available to anybody who has some coordination issues, or even just ideas about putting different colors together. We can help.
What about those of us who can no longer see up close?
Well, for those of us like that, that's why I have these little guys attached to my glasses.
This is fantastic. So again, this will take place in the second camp, the second of 3 camps, Fundamentals of Inspiration. I do want to reiterate that the ages for these camps are ages 9 and up. It is an all-accessible camp, which means it's open to children of all abilities. However, please do know that some coordination will be needed to complete many of the projects here as well. With that, we thank you very much for letting us into your studio. We're going to head further up the street to the Decorative Arts Center, and we'll talk a little bit more about the final phase of the camp and how you can get your children signed up, where you go to log on and make that happen, and what it's going to cost.
Hi, I'm Zane Harshaw. I am 20 years old, and I've been playing guitar for 5 years. I started on Guitar Hero when I was like 13 and 14. Then I stopped playing, and I told them I want to play the real thing. So I was a fast learner. They said I've got the gift from God. Well, I like to play rock, a little bit of blues, jazz, and I played reggae. Yeah, a little R&B and Christian music. Like if I go to church or something. I play by ear, so I listen to it a couple times, then I play along with it sometimes, then I memorize it. Some other guitar players saying, Zane, you're way too good on the guitar. I like to play in front of a lot of people. I want them to say, Blue Spectrum, we love you.
And welcome back to Fairfield Today. I am your host, Temple Custer Montanez. And as you can tell, we've moved locations up here. And with me is Mitzi Clark Neiswanger from Art and Clay on Main, who's the general manager. Hi, Mitzi.
Hi.
And Tricia Clifford Sprouse, who is the co-director at the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio, also on Main Street in historic downtown Lancaster. Tricia, thank you for letting us into your space. Now tell me where we are here.
So we're in the Wendell Center for Art Education at the Decorative Arts Center. We're at the back of the property of the facility. We actually have 3 buildings, so we're back by the alley. And this is where all the magic happens. I love this space. It's just...
This is fun. I'm jealous. This is phenomenal.
So this is our main studio. I call this the dirty studio. This is where we do everything down here. So it's, we've done clay down here, we've done painting down here, and this is where most of our camps are going to take place.
And the camps that she's referring to, if you're just tuning in, 3 visions, 3 camps, 1 summer, a collaborative camping adventure for young people in Fairfield County, ages 9 to
14.
9 to 14, okay. That's taking place in collaboration between Art and Clay on Main, the Ohio Glass Museum, and the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio. So during the camp, children in very small groups, and I want to reiterate that because I think that's very important, groups of 5 will be doing a little bit more intensive work and projects in each location. So 5 students will start at Art and Clay, and throughout the day will make their way to the Ohio Glass Museum and then up to DACO and revolving around. And in reverse.
5 at each location. Right. So there's 15 students total.
Right. 9 o'clock. 5 will start with us. 5 will start with Ohio Glass Museum, and 5 will start with Trish at DACO, and then they start moving.
Make the switcheroo, and in between they will have lunch. We haven't talked about price yet, so let's talk a little bit about price, but also what that includes. You want to talk about that? Or you want me to have Mitzi tell you about that? I'll have Mitzi address this.
Okay. Well, we are handling registration, so that's why it comes to me. But yes, so it's $150 per child per camp. And that includes all of the instruction and all of the supplies, and we have people that are also going to be overseeing the kids, just safety purposes, getting them to and from the different studios. So it's absolutely all inclusive, and all they have to bring with them each day is a creative mind and a lunch. That's it.
Fantastic. And now, if they don't bring a lunch, is there an opportunity to buy one?
As a matter of fact, Square 7 Coffee House inside of Art and Clay has $5 lunch specials that we have on the registration site, that when you register your child, you can say, I want all 5 days covered, here's an extra $25. And if they just say, I've got a lot going on Monday, can you feed them on Monday? Here's an extra $5, and then I'll send a lunch the rest of the week. So however you want to do it, we do have lunches available. It'll be a sandwich and a drink, a piece of fruit, and some chips.
Fantastic. So kids ages 9 to 14, I do want to reiterate that this is an all-accessible camp, meaning our doors are open, our studio doors are open, and our paint brushes are ready for children of all abilities. Having said that, we do want parents to know that there will be some projects will be a little bit more intensive than others. There'll be some fire and maybe some knives, some
Tools.
That's a better way to put it, some mature tools. So please keep that in mind when you're registering your children. Tell us a little bit about this space. I know we're almost out of time, but I'm so fascinated by what goes on up here.
So this space is the education center, and we have all sorts of classes here. We're going to have other things going on throughout the
And you
summer.
do classes for adults and teens, and check out their website. They have a plethora of classes.
Yes, classes for adults. We just posted our classes through the end of the year. I'm already starting to plan 2018, right. So check those out.Ey're all on our website now. And lots of different age groups, lots of different opportunities. We try to focus on our exhibitions. This is the exhibition that will be here this summer.
And you will be piggybacking off that exhibition during the Fundamentals of Inspiration Camp.
Yes, we will. So this is 3 voices, conversations of life and conflict, and it's 3 artists, 3 camps, three visions.
So in addition to the art instruction that children will receive, they'll have the opportunity to get inside the Decorative Arts Center itself, the museum itself, and see an exhibition.
Yeah, they'll get to see.
See, you're getting more and more for your money the more this goes on.
Right. Okay. All the supplies are going to be included in the camp. So really, it's a bargain. Yeah. I'm a mom. Right, it's a bargain.
It is a bargain, and it's very unique. And it's unique to have your children experience the history of historic downtown Lancaster and to be able to take advantage of not one really cool studio, but 3. And I have to tell you that all of the women we've talked to today, as well as their staff, are immensely artistically talented, and I'm sure talented in many other ways. So let's talk real quickly again about how do we get signed up for this camp.
So you can visit our website at artandclayonmain.com, and you just go to the homepage, and there is a bar across the top, and you choose classes, and it'll immediately take you to our menu of classes that we have. We usually do about a month at a time. So, and all 3 camps are on there. And you just select the camp and you register right there with a credit card. If you don't want to register online, you can call us. We can do it over the phone. You can also come in person if you want to pay cash or check. Okay. So we make it as
and you can do that for all three camps. Okay. Absolutely. And just to reiterate, the camps are Marbles and Museums. That will take place June 19th through the 22nd. Fundamentals of Inspiration, July 10th through the 13th. And Movie Making, which is really cool, August 7th through the 11th. Those camps are 9 to 3. For the first 2, 9 to 2. For the third one, again, ages 9 and up, all accessible. And the class size is limited, or the camp size is limited to 15 children. So 5 per location. Thank you. I was going to say per museum, per location. And again, to register for those camps, they are $150 per camp per child. Visit www.artandclayonmain.com. Thank you so much, ladies, for this tour this morning.
Been great. Thank you.
I know. It makes me want to go home and do a craft or something. So thank you, Mitzi.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Adult camp.
Yeah, right? Let's just have one right now. I'm calling off the rest of the day. Right. Okay. All right. Thanks. Thank you so much. I am Temple Custer Montanez with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and we'll see you next time.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.